Welcome, my friends, to the first ever episode of Circuito in English. Why we're doing in English? That's a good question. We are live here. João, we are live. Let's see. We're live in a
Let's
bunch
check.
of different. Yeah,
Go ahead.
we are
I'm
live in
live
a
in that
bunch
case.
of different channels.
We are
We
live
are
in
live in
YouTube.
LinkedIn, live in Twitter. We are live in my account, in Tony's account. We are live in YouTube as well. We're live everywhere. Um, Soon we will be live in João profile as well. He just needs to log in. But that's the idea. The idea is to have this live stream spread out to all our audiences, all the communities that we represent. Um, but the idea of this pilot is to how have this overview of guys that we are interviewing here, builders. Some of them are building just in Brazil. Some of them are building in a global arena, I would say. Before I go any further, João, how was your week? And if you want to present yourself, because this is the pilot in English, feel free.
Okay, yeah, amazing to be talking in English. I think it's quite useful. I'm quite familiar at this point to talking in Portuguese, but I could use being getting better at speaking in English. So super excited to do this. I'm João. I'm the co-founder of Picnic. We are a 4337 DeFi app that is targeting non-crypto native users. We have been doing half of swap volumes using 4337, and it's a pretty new and interesting use case that I'm super excited to build. My background is data and operations. I used to work with growth analytics at Uber Eats here in Brazil. I helped scale the business, really fell in love with consumer tech, and now I'm building things. Um, and now I basically do a bit of everything. My official title at Picnic is CEO. So yeah, now I'm very focused in fundraising and overviewing most things. That's me.
Awesome. And it is an awesome friend as well, friend of us that is building and creating the ecosystem here in Brazil. Most of people that are building here in Brazil know João because Picnic is a household name, I would say, in our ecosystem by now. So how explain what Toni Farias is, Toni?
Let's go. So, yeah, I'm Antonio Farias, but you can call me Tony. I'm working as a head of product and associated at Kilonova Ventures. We help founders and projects to fundraising. So we help in strategic um, things like business model, value proposition, understand the product and technology that the the founders will use. We help with content plan, marketing, growth strategies, and to connect all the founders with potential VCs and angel investors to help in this path. We usually to work with pre-seed and seed projects, and yeah, we and now we are working with a lot of type of business, but focus more on Web3 and AI. My background is in law and UX and product management, and my recently studies was in marketing and growth, and now I'm in this area of venture capital. But I'm a son of entrepreneurs, so I always thinking about to create a new business and to think understand new business. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. What we feel that is kind of strange is because all three of us are Brazilian, and we are speaking English. We plan to have a pilot with foreigners, so we had more a good time on this challenge of speaking another language, while we all understand ourselves on our own native language. But we want to spread the idea of Brazilians, not only Brazilians, but builders. They are creating stuff, really interesting stuff, but they are in a low rather phase. People don't know a lot of things that are happening in the backstage. So we want to create this circuit. I would say this connection between uh, good people building good stuff, interesting stuff, and the market. So we are creating this space, and we want to talk about AI, about crypto, about innovation in all the senses. And we just want to broadcast that friendly talk. Just to you guys know a little bit about myself. I'm part of Super Team Brazil, actually, helping other super teams as well, Super Team Mexico and other initiatives of Solana. So Solana in Argentina, Solana in Portugal as well. We are creating a hub of talents, I would say, that includes not just people that are creating projects, but people that are helping and working in projects around the world. And the idea is to have this hub of talents in Latin America, in Portugal, even South Africa. We are helping, um, because these emerging markets, uh, we know that emerging markets have a lot of potential. When you're talking about Web3, we don't have barriers. We are in a global environment. So that's the idea, is to boost and bootstrap all this talent there is in these emerging markets with the help of Solana Foundation and other players in the Solana ecosystem. So that's a little bit of me. Trying to build here and there as well. I've been building in the Brazilian ecosystem for quite a while, with other initiatives such Bankless Brazil, other initiatives that had this idea of creating a basic educational basic like an acceleration of our ecosystem. I like this idea of creating an environment that is so fertile that when I am building, um, I will be more my effort will be more impactful because the environment that I helped build is more fertile in a whole. Um, so just for context, we didn't have anything planned for this pilot. Just to talk that we are just to announce that we are creating content in English as well. But Tony, tell me a little bit about how what do you think about Circuito? What things that you want to see here, discussions? We already had a lot of discussions, live streams in Portuguese with awesome builders. But in English, what things you think that we can create here?
I think I want to bring more people that it's working with AI. Um, and I think we can bring people that it's near Stanford and some place that this kind of uh, subject it's talking every day in all the classes, and people are connecting and VCs connecting and understand these kind of challenges. And yeah, and maybe we can bring people from Asia, from other countries, and yeah, will be very valuable for understand the how Web3 is going in other countries too. If the country have some benefit or cons, and we can compare with Brazil, because yeah, Web3 it's a nomad space, so we can move and live in another place. So I think this is will be valuable for me. And you, João?
So my favorite thing about doing this podcast is I learned quite a bit from the guests we have. Usually conversations on things that are I'm not necessarily super deep on. So it's great to get some perspective and to connect more with people that not necessarily I in contact like every week. So it has been great for, both for learning and networking. And I think in general, most of the Brazilian ecosystem tends to be not that well integrated with the rest of the world. I think that for sure is the case with more Web2 companies, but even for Web3, I think that that is true to some extent. And being able to bring guests that are not your typical conference attendee here in Brazil will be fun. I think it will be great to generate those connections and also to get some content out that might be helpful for people that are interested in emerging markets and especially in Brazil. I think this will be like the closer to the ground truth you'll be able to get in terms of understanding the Brazilian Web3 market. I think we're all very hands-on and very close to what's happening on the ground. So I think there's a lot of value there, and curious if we'll find folks that will also share that value perception as well. How
And
about
we
you?
have,
Good. Very good.
and what I think that is beautiful about what we have done so far is that we brought people that are builders that are not only relevant to the Brazilian ecosystem. Most of them are creating stuff very, very relevant for the whole ecosystem. And they are very, very, I would say, in the backstage of some stuff. For example, we had Pedro Alves here in the last episode from Daedalus, one of the most, one of the best deal flows in Web3 that we'll ever encounter because they have more than 30 angel investors in their fund, and the idea is that they have a lot of LPs in other funds as well, so they share information. So they have one of the best deal flows in the whole Web3. 10 angels. Okay, I overestimated here, but they have a lot of good deal flow. Other guys that we had here, we had Alex Neto from Blockful, Danny of Blockful as well. They're creating a lot of things on DAO and DAOs and reputation on chain.
Public goods.
Public goods, exactly. And they are creating a lot of stuff that is being used broadly in the ecosystem. Um, who else? We had Danko as well. Danko is the director, executive director of
The
Balance.
balance of foundation. No.
Exactly. So we had a lot of great folks here. I will forget to mention a lot of them because we had quite a few. But the idea is to have these hands-on builders in the conversation. We're not talking about AI, we're talking about people there experimenting AI since day one. We're not talking about DeFi. We will be talking with DeFi builders, people that are creating DeFi, not only people that are using trending stuff. That's quite of the idea. And we have also three parts of a table here. We have Toni that is in the venture side of things. We have João that is in the founder side of things. And me that is kind of in the, I would say, ecosystem side of things. That is Super Team is not a venture. Super Team is not a we are not founders of Super Team, but we are here creating an environment, I would say. So we have three sides of an ecosystem here. That is cool enough. Yeah. And João, tell us a little bit about. I'm very curious about how you define picnic to other audiences, not just the Brazilian one. How is your strategy to go and create picnic awareness
Uh,
for?
and to add this question, I think you can speak a little about the plan to go to Europe and other place. So that's it.
Yeah. But that is somewhat of a challenge, I think, explaining picnic as it's like a weird new primitive. I think it's not something that has really been done, and it is not on people's mental models. It is very easy for people to misunderstand it. So I have been experimenting with many ways. Today in our call, I basically said that it is the uh, easiest way for someone that is non-crypto native to access on-chain products or something along those lines. But that tends not to be specific enough. I think sometimes people like expect the product to be really good at making payments, for example. Like, so, oh, I want to have my address book so I can pay my friends. But that's not really how people use Picnic. Like our users, they see Picnic pretty much as in the same bucket as they see a centralized exchange. So it's really an alternative. Instead of going to a centralized exchange, you can go to Picnic and you have a similar experience, but everything's running on chain. Uh, so yeah, I think that parallel with centralized exchanges is the closer I can get to making people actually understand Picnic. And I think there is an extra barrier as like Picnic only has the on and off ramp piece right now in reais. Uh, it doesn't connect that much. Like my impression is once we add the Euro ramp, people will be like, wow, this is amazing. And it's like literally the same thing. I just changed the currency. It's the same product. Like a lot of people, I like some people get it, and I think some people get it very deeply, but it's kind of surprising for me uh, how a bit of abstraction can make it hard to grasp. But yeah, we launched this thing. We have been playing around with this idea for more or less a year and a half. We launched the ERC 437 version, which is much more polished in the beginning of this year, and it grew quite well to a point where we are doing half the swap volumes on ERC 437, and most of that is coming from Brazilian users. And I think we understand some things that are not that consensus right now. For example, catering to non crypto native users. We already have a product that can go there, and it's much easier to cater to those users than going after crypto natives. So since we have the leadership, even looking at a global scale, it made a lot of sense for us to be more aggressive and go after larger markets, such as the European market. And also there is a cost structure question, like European market will be much better for us to make money. There's a lots of peculiarities about the Brazilian market where it makes hard for us to make money. And yeah, quite excited to launch Europe in general.
More liquidity in euro, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the main thing.
If you can answer this question, but I want to understand more. How much are you investing in marketing and growth to have these previous results in the last months, and talk more about the highlight that you posted on Twitter about the fees comparing with Binance. How you achieve uh, this competitive price?
So yeah, on marketing end of things, the thing we did best was partnership with content creators. So we partnered with a few local content creators that are people that saw a lot of value in Picnic and really got a good understanding of what we're building. And the way we brought those people in, we made them like owners. So we give them like a stake on Picnic. So everyone's quite incentivized to make Picnic work. I think it has been great to take Picnic off the ground. Now we have been thinking a lot about growth loops and how can we our goal, like we're making around $2,000 a week in revenue right now. We're planning to, our goal is to end the year with $20,000 in revenue by the end of the year. So basically 10xing revenue. And the way to go there is we need to be very aggressive. Like if we're growing well, like we're growing 20-ish% organically week over week, which is super good. But I think there's a lot of room to accelerate, especially being more aggressive with like growth loops. So we're going to Europe. I think that will set us up to have a large enough market that thinking about a points campaign and something along those lines will make sense. So
Call me, man. Call me to talk about points.
of
Yeah. Oh, awesome, awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Call me either. I would love to farm some points on the beginning. Just to reveal, you have an awesome share of the market of ERC for 30 for
4337.
37.
Yeah, 4337.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is the just for people to get used to is the standard of account abstraction, I would say,
Yes.
in the Ethereum ecosystem. Okay. Um, half half of this volume is Picnic's volume. And you are betting heavily on retention. Retention is what I would say defines growth for you. How you can explain that to a person that don't don't understand growth as well as you do?
I think the best way to go about it might be to tell the story, but all my time during Uber Eats, it was like I got in a few months after the operations were starting to scale. So a few people built the business, got everything work and set up here in Brazil. And when they decided to scale, they hired a bunch more people. And I came in that second wave. And my job at some point was basically to like, let's make this thing grow. We made a lot of crazy bets. We were super aggressive with growth and we got a lot of things right. So, and we kept improving it pretty much like every week we were running a bunch of experiments. So the business grew like really well for 1 year-ish because we kept and the biggest source of growth was actually growth hacks. So we got really good at growth. The thing is, at some point in time, things stopped working that well, and growth was getting too expensive slash stalling. And when I stopped to deep dive and really understand what was happening, I made a bunch of analysis. I did basically two kinds of analysis. One, which was to compare like Uber Eats in Brazil versus local competitors. But I also compared Uber Eats in Brazil versus other Uber Eats around the world. So for example, Taiwan had an amazing booming Uber Eats business back then. And there were a few other countries that were really growing well. And the thing that became so clear to me is that if you have high retention, everything else becomes so much easier. And like if you model, like if you do the math on retention, like if like if you have high retention, it basically means that the user you acquired, this user will keep spending money on you, so you can afford to be a lot more aggressive to acquire users. And the situation we got in Brazil is we had a fundamentally worse product than the competition. So our retention was lower, which meant that we had to spend more money than the competition to get the same value out of the users. So that's like, I think it's the situation we found ourselves in was to get really good metrics. I think I don't know, 20x the business since I got in, something like that. We went from 70,000 orders to like 1.5 million orders a week, which was like, if you put that, we were growing like 9% a week or something like 7% a week, was like really good growth by most benchmarks at that scale. But even then, like we were focused too much on like incentives, gimmicks, and those sorts of things, and paying too little attention to the business fundamentals and like the product fundamentals, which in the end made things extremely hard to sustain, mostly because we're like incentive hacking to the extreme, which is great. I just would have done the order in a different way, or at least to took the foot off the gas in terms of retention, growth hacks, and spend time and like improving retention and getting that thing really well. But yeah, that was one of the things, like when I did that analysis, that was very widely shared. I shared that with every country in Latin America, and even like it was some presentation that people called me to share that data. It was not super on the mental models of most managers. But that made me super clear that this is a dying business. This is not a thriving business. We need to fix this thing, or else we're doomed, which is not that talked about and not something that necessarily we had been aware as of operators.
So you would say that in Brazil the CAC was higher and the LTV rose,
Yeah, I think that's
the lifetime value, né? Yeah.
that's one way to look at it. But even like it is a network effect business. So if your competitor grows faster than you grow, you're kind of doomed. So even if your CAC is similar to what your competitor is, if
Okay.
the competitor is growing more, you're toast as well. So that's the symptom. So like our CAC was higher than iFood, and they kept growing more. So it's like the two things mixed.
You talked to about growth loops, and I love this subject, and the first time that I read, I think was in Reforge, and I would ask to you about how the model that you think it have more similarity for picnic comparing other big players like, I don't know, Figma, Uber, iFood, Nubank. What are you thinking about?
Yeah, and just to like Reforge talks a lot about retention. Like
Yeah.
retention is the killer metric for them. And everyone that I really looked up in terms of growth, everyone's like, okay, retention is the thing you need to get right. And this is surprisingly not that widely known in my perception, but like that seems to be very clear for me.
Great.
But in terms of growth loops, I tend to like simple things. So right now, the thing I have in mind is basically points along with referrals. There is something that is really built into like our history, which is baskets. So content creators can create baskets and then recommend those baskets to users. that is something that I have in mind a lot, but it is quite challenging in terms of engineering and product work. So I don't think that will be a short-term priority. But yeah, we'll be launching referral with points probably. That's the
Great.
easiest and surest way to go.
Yeah, I think the article that I most likely from Reforge, it's the four growth frameworks you need to build a um 100 million product. Yeah. So that's it's this is article, it's very valuable for product management, strategy, understand channels, distribution, and
Can you do a tweet after the live stream
sure,
to share with everyone the article? I'm interested in the article.
sure. I talked about it on a in an event in Resultados Digitais. So I I explained a little about how product management and product strategy is in Web3 comparing with Web2. But and I used this article to explain a little about. So I will do for sure.
Okay. Uh, if anyone have any question in the live stream, you just need to do a comment. It's not that hard. You can leave a comment there and we will answer here in the live stream. Sometimes I forget that we are live and I just want to talk about a subject. So if you guys want to know a little bit about some article that Tony mentioned, some stuff that some story that João talks a little bit more, we can share definitely here. Um, one thing when I talk when I think about retention, I think about like the if you're pouring water in a broken vessel or something like that, and you can have 10 million liters in the vessel, but if you have a broken vessel, will not matter at all. So this is kind of the simplified 5-year-old version of what you said. Um, and one thing that it is interesting to see in the Circuito as well is to see picnic growing while we are talking here and creating live streams. It's very interesting to see that as well. And one thing about Tony, your overview about the market when you're in Kilonova and you worked in other projects as well, but where do you think that Web3 market is heading? You have an overview on a lot of stuff, and what do you think? Where the Web3 market is heading?
Uh, you want to understand about the opportunities for the project? Maybe
Yeah,
this?
where the projects are going?
Yeah, I think that when I was working more in Brazilian projects and building a lot of Web3 Brazilian projects, but the most of the project that I work in was international, so we had a lot of clients around the world. But now working with a more senior team and in a different context, in the venture capital side, I understand that we have a lot of opportunities to grow our business. I think we are in a very good moment, but we have to search these opportunities. We have to understand what people can connect us, and I think network it's everything. And I think that in the last circuit that we had with Pedro, I realized more about it because this is the world. Like people open some doors, and when we open another door, we can see another opportunity, another way to grow our business and to create new products and to reach a new audience. So yeah, I'm more excited and more Yeah, I think that we are in a bull run and going to that, and think that bad things will happen in the world and will affect the price of the things. But to build something in Web3, we are in the right moment, so we can reach money, we can, yeah, and have a lot of grants. So today I had a conversation with a future CEO of a new blockchain, and he told me that he had a lot of grants to give to projects. So yeah, I am very excited about the moment, and we only have to search and connect with the right partners and understand that a technology, a protocol, a tool on Web3, everything can be we can share and can do a cross marketing and grow our audience. And so I understand a lot about it, that we have to use all the things that it's in our hands, and yeah, and thinking about everything: product, marketing, growth, business development, and to connect with venture capital too, to understand the data. And if we see the data of venture capital, the marketing is growing a lot. Crypto rank, it's a good source for us. And I had some scripts, and I'm some in some moments I'm searching and understand this data, and so people are putting a lot of money now. So that's it. And the biggest funds don't sell in anything. So
Yeah, and when you understand about cycles in crypto as well, you understand that okay, uh, things will not sometimes will not repeat the same way that they did before, uh, but sometimes they do. So crypto market is very very bound to these cycles, and the idea of having of building in the start of the summer, and we are kind of in the same area of the start of what people should expect as the start of the crypto summer. It's very interesting because the idea here in Circuito is to talk about to highlight builders as well. Builders that are building for some time, for quite a time here. Um, but in the beginning of a season that promises a lot, and these projects will be, I think, in the best position, I would say, and the best timing. I hope, I hope so. Um, and that's it. That's kind of the interesting part. We are in an exciting part of the cycle. Um, I survived one bear market, I would say. Uh, two bear markets actually. And it is ugly. It is heavy for the people that stay. Um, but it is worthwhile after some time. Some projects that are going, that have traction, such as Picnic, show us that the other part of the tunnel is interesting,
certainly
rewarding.
I'm more calm now in this cycle too. But I want to understand the vision of João, because João's ever more, how can I say, fear with data and fair with data, and yeah, and the things that I think João like to balance everything. So
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, it is like for picnic, we like seeing more volume. It is it is great for us. Like this year, like we had an increase in trading volumes. We could really feel that. And for example, yesterday was Picnic's best day ever. I think we traded in a single day $400,000, something like that. Um, so
awesome.
last last month we did 7.7 on the whole month. So that was a good day to see. I think it was actually like, yeah, it was more. But it is tough emotionally, I think, to depend on like things that are external to you. You can build like what you can build goes only to a certain extent, and I think that the nature of crypto today is very speculative driven. So that's the game we need to play, and if we want to really build the primitives of a new financial system, build the primitives of new organizational structures, I think we need to endure the speculation game and benefit from it as well, right? So a lot of money came in 2021, and I think a lot of things were built because of the speculation money. So I think when everyone's hyped is a good thing to be less hyped, and when everyone is down, it's yeah. I think trying to stay in the middle ground. It seems like a good strategy. It's not that easy to implement, but that's the thing I try to follow and as my North Star pretty much.
I remember that we were at Ethereum Argentina last year. That seems like 10 years ago, actually. It was 1 year ago. And we had a conversation. At the time, we had this boom of social fi stuff. I don't recall the name of the friend
Tech?
friend stack, exactly. And we had this Sponsonomics social fi. We had this conversation about um, picnic at the time was the main feature was to create this baskets of investment, and the market was so thirsty for Posonomics and stuff that were over the moon, like stuff that overpassed all of the reasonable. People were expecting to have money instantly, so they have this will to gamble a lot in the crypto market. And products such as Picnic at the time, investment baskets of assets, uh, weren't very interesting, I would say, because people they wanted to gamble. I'm not saying that things changed, but I think the crypto market changed a little bit, that in a way that people are not gambling just for the gambling. They are kind of following the reasonable market of buying a little bit of Bitcoin, buying a little bit of the main assets because they believe in the crypto summer, I would say. They're not just betting and gambling. They are holding and creating this kind of, they are like they're in they're following primitives, I would say, at this time. I would say that Picnic, most of the volume goes to people buying just dollar cost averaging or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's the usual suspects.
Yeah, and Solana, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's right there.
and
It's right there.
and because it's Brazil dollars as well, because dollar is it's an all-time high now, so US dollars. Uh, that's interesting because if you see per se, it's a pretty boring product, isn't it? It's just buying crypto. But at the same time, it is easy to buy crypto on chain now, and it's very very easy. Picnic, the guys made it so easy that is as easy or even more easy than centralized exchange, because it's just your email It's not very, very complicated to create an account. So today, even the boring stuff, I would say it is very exciting because it is exciting to buy crypto now again for non-natives, mainly. So yeah, that's kind of the comment. Depending on the and of the season of this market, you find ourselves in we find ourselves in a very, very risky game bullish environment, and sometimes no, people are thinking in a reasonable way. They're following principles depending on the season.
About the baskets, I like to compare the previous version of Picnic with Web2 market because when you see people that invest and finance, people a lot of people don't buy baskets. They only want to buy some stock and they because they like this company and they didn't understand the metrics and the future and the current state of the company to invest in them, but only invest in a logo and a name. And sometimes this happens in Web3 as well. But yeah, when we see the population of Brazil, they don't invest in baskets. And if you call about and if you talk about baskets or index, people don't understand. So how we want to sell something in crypto that sometimes people feel more insecure and and that they didn't understand on TradFi. So yeah, this was my thoughts when I think about the previous version of Picnic and Cassandra Finance as well. And you, John?
Yep, I think there is like I think two components there. I think one, it is like a much harder product to build well. Uh, so I think like simple swaps, I think it's much easier to deliver a really, really good experience to the end user than baskets. I think baskets are very challenging to build right. And I think the educational component is definitely there as well. Uh, and to be honest, I quite like baskets until this day. The way I think about it is much more as like incremental volume. So let's say I have my core offering is just swaps. You can buy tokens, you swap token A for token B. But like for most users, that's what they want. But you have some users that will put more money in Picnic if we have baskets there. Like even though we're not really paying attention to baskets now, I think it's 7-ish% of our TVL is baskets, which is not that bad for a product that we're not really focusing on.
I,
So
I
yeah,
think I think baskets are a pretty good upsell. Even more if we consider that the main strategy of Picnic so far were based on influencers, people that are educators in the Web3 community, mainly on investment. So they can create portfolios that people can follow or stuff like that. Investment wallets, I would say. Um, it is your strategy to do the same in Europe or not?
yes, we will reach out for influencers there. But in Europe, I think we're much more uh, focusing in getting the point system up and running. So that will be the key lever. I will do that along influencers, but it will be like more aggressive now.
Mhm. Okay, okay. And we'll be focused on non-natives as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Like we're focus on no natives, but some people use it. Fachiki, I think, is quite a heavy Picnic user, and he's pretty DeFi native, so we get those use cases as well. But yeah, the focus is non-natives.
Yeah, and one thing about one thing that I want to to say is that Um, People want easy, like they want easy tech. People want to it is not that hard to understand why people want to create an effort to use an effortless tool to buy crypto. It's not hard to understand that. And one thing that Tony said that I don't agree with is that like the average Brazilian, I would say the average Brazilian will never buy crypto. And I think that most of Brazilians will buy crypto, but not the average Brazilian. What I say about that? We have Brazil in Brazil we have a large middle class that is not the biggest, I would say, class in Brazil. But they have a lot of this social anxiety. We have a lot of people that are most people on crypto conduct some interviews, João, with your customers and see the the ages that they have, like the they're most of the time in their 30s and 40s, isn't it?
Yeah, even more. Like I get quite surprised that sometimes we speak with like 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, there's 70-year-olds using
Okay.
Picnic as well.
How you make contact?
Usually send forms via email, and whoever replies, we
And some
follow.
reward to people that fill this form?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, like
How?
last time we sent, I think we got over 100 answers back without rewards. So yeah, people like,
Great. People like picnic a lot, so.
yeah,
Yeah. Uh, what I'm kind of saying is that people of my age, I'm 23. People of my age don't use crypto as much, don't buy crypto as much, and they're I don't know how is the age pyramid in Brazil
I
today.
understand you. I try to talk a lot of friends of my sister and that have almost your age, and it's very difficult to explain crypto for them. So if then it's the I don't know the age of Brazilians now, but I understand what the point your point.
what's the problem with your generation? What's going wrong there?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it's two or three factors. One of them are they don't have enough money. They is
Yeah.
just invest. They don't have the anxiety of the 30s of the 40s to retire or to build something to your family or to build insurance or have this financial security.
To gain man to realize the dreams of our family. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that they don't have the income necessary and they don't have the anxiety or security, financial insecurity for the future. So most of the countries have this very fragile retire system. This Brazil don't have, but the public sector have a pension fund that is very in depth.
They didn't show yet, but we will see the problem.
Exactly. We have a very big problem in the future on people retiring, not retiring actually, because we don't have enough money to fuel all of that. So yeah, basically people are anxiety and have anxiety on the future, and crypto is the most risk rewarding stuff there is around here. Investing abroad is very difficult. People don't
It's
see as
getting
another.
easier, right? But still,
Oh,
like,
it is, but it is very. I think for the average Brazilian is crypto is less hard and less foggy, I would say, than investing in Apple, for example, or
Yeah.
any.
I agree.
and Brazilian stocks are very bad, just bad. Brazilian companies, they don't do well, very much. So, and I think that's that. The profile of people that are in crypto right now is not something that I would think when I got in crypto for the first time. I never thought that that would be the main consumers of crypto. But the reality is that they are, and they're most of them are willing to understand a little bit more about crypto. Um, I don't know if they will, but they want to know a little bit more.
And what about the thesis of young people don't like to maybe read papers, articles, and understand more
Yeah.
uh, deep is something more technical, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe only want to consume some TikTok and Reels? What do you think about it, Cioffi?
Yeah, I think most young people will be more in the betting side of things or gambling. If they see crypto, they will see like I have a lot of friends that college school high school friends that didn't enter Bitcoin, didn't enter in Ethereum or Solana at the time. Solana didn't existed back then, so they didn't enter in any major crypto. But they entered in crypto games. And when we had like X Infinity or stuff like that, they entered all in. So with a lot of money actually. Like all in indeed. So I think it's just a flavor. Sorry, it's just the flavor. It's not the it's not the thing. It's the how you brand it to the audience. So they are more gaming, entertaining or sports people than tech or investment people. Yeah, not just TikTok reels. Um, so I think that's that, guys, for our first episode in English. What do you guys think?
I think that sounds great. I think we gave an overview, talked a lot about picnic,
Yeah.
uh, and gave an overview of the market and how we see things. I think it will be very hard to find similar content for Brazil, I think, for English speakers. I think this is very unfiltered and quite close to ground truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see if that's useful for someone.
Awesome. Awesome.
For me, it
Uh,
was impressive. We didn't play anything, so great, a lot. And I can talk about picnic all the day.
yeah. So stuff that will happen this week, for your usual, you start. What things will happen for you this week? What we'll be working on? Um, feel free.
Yeah, I'm fundraising, so quite a few meetings around that. Um, working on the deck. Yeah, that's and a bit of product, but like mostly fundraising. That's what I have in mind.
Awesome. And you, Tony?
Yeah, I'm finishing a customer journey map of client analytics and creating um, a quest plan, a growth plan for Yamada decks. So yeah, today I was setting up the Galaxy, so creating a plan to begin with automatic quests and tasks, and after that I'm thinking to how to create something to analyze and to validate uh, quests that people did on Twitter with AI too. So maybe I will use Make to read some CSV from the tasks and automate this validating to put the points for each user. And this week we will enter two new projects. one of AI with crypto, with Web3, and another one I have to check. No, but no, another one is a niche that we will create like a builder for 3D assets, and we will integrate in Web3 too, something like with NFTs and yeah, create assets and now we are thinking about how we can improve a lot of process on venture in our venture because this week we enter another designer for us, and we are hiring a head of social media and a community, and we will hire more people. I think we will hire 2 people for growth, and another one for business development ecosystem. So the founder talked to me I think about all the organization, the process, and how I can create like a product, something like a process for each client that we can replicate, and to us have more performance here and don't get crazy because it's a lot of projects and different contexts. So yeah, this will be my week.
Awesome, awesome. Um, and how about me? We are preparing for the global hackathon, Solana's global hackathon called Hadar, Radar. And we are also in most of my team is in Argentina right now, participating in Aleph. Aleph is it's a pop-up city of a movement called Crecimiento. And the idea of Crecimiento is to create a global tech hub in Buenos Aires, which is very interesting because it's a very hotbed for talent in Latin America, but can be world like worldwide as well. Um, we are creating as well something that I don't know if I can spoiler enough, but it is a startup competition focused on Latin as well. Will be very broad. I would say it's not just for one ecosystem. It's very broad. We want to have consumer apps. We want to deliver this kind of content as well to the mass media as well. So we're trying all our efforts to combine this with the efforts of the Global Hackathon. The name of this competition will be announced soon. It is very good name as well. Um, and yeah, Super Team is here to build stuff. Um, Thank you guys for watching all the content here. We are more than 100 people watching the live stream. Thank you for that. See you in the next one. I'm not sure about the next one. The next one in Friday's episode. But in the next week we'll have the guys from Mexico, Luna AI. It is a project that is building in AI and crypto as well, integrating a lot of innovations and features, very interesting features as well. They won a hackathon called Bonkathon recently. They uh, were awarded like $25,000 because they won first place in AI. They're creating a great good job. They're creating a very sophisticated consumer app as well. So we will see them next week. Thank you, João. Thank you, Tony. See
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Thank you for the audience, and thank you, João and Cioffi.
You
See
guys.
you.
Thank you, guys. See you. Bye.